If you've watched part one, you can see how meditation can lead to a better navigational skills in life. In part two, the plan is to explain the fundamental levels of progress that are pretty easy to identify for everybody. The first textbook level is the process of waking up to the soul identity, aka the observer. That can be clinically termed the subconscious mind, where memory is permanently stored. See, the brain only is capable of limited recall, which fades in time. That's why after death, souls have that total recall to the detail. If life experiences, including feelings, were stored in the brain, this would be totally lost at the time of death. And this isn't the case. Hypnosis definitely proves this point. The subconscious is like, well, it's like that black box that the airlines use to record the flight data. I believe it's elementary necessary to recognize that the subconscious isn't a part of ourselves. It's closer to us than we may think. It's a part of us that most have lost sight of, not intentionally, but it's the main result of working through the good and the bad experiences in our world, which has a very effective way of overshadowing our identity. To sum this all up, successful meditation is a simplified form of self-hypnosis, really, allowing the mind to lose focus and slip into the subconscious. And it's that simple. It may start with just a few seconds, but grows with practice. So the question has to be asked: what would be the long-term results of this experience? That, my friend, is the topic now, part two, called Meditation as a Personal Therapy. So, it's important to know everyone naturally has their transcending moments, with or without meditation. Anything can trigger this. Usually, most people take no notice to it because, hey, they don't know what they don't know. We're not trained to recognize it. The mind has no context. First of all, it's quite subtle. And second, it's an experience that doesn't relate to what we've been accustomed to. It's difficult to put context to something that is completely unfamiliar with ourselves. I think our minds are much like a computer, which is programmed to only work in the world that we live in. Fortunately for the majority, our conscious minds adapt quickly. We begin to recognize what we once lost sight of since early childhood. However, trauma in its many forms can block the normal and natural experience of our soul connection. Young children are much more connected in this way, but as the mind matures and gets more grounded in our current society, the innocent connection fades. Fortunately, there is not a lot of emphasis on the inner development of creative intelligence with the Department of Education or modern day culture, if you know what I mean. For example, most people have this, false sense of understanding that a great idea comes from their head. Others have no idea where it comes from other than it's their idea. Actually, this makes a great opening question to begin. What if the place our ideas come from is a shared cloud? Humanity's cloud bank. What if we're all connected to it, like computers connected to a central server? Yes, indeed. We may have to rethink our copyright laws and retire the patent office. That will be the day. Well, I'm just saying, a little practice, conscious awareness can be redirected and expanded to include the observer. That's all. If there's one thing I can share about meditation, is that the benefits we talk about, they're the side effects, but not the intended purpose. The more the individual is aligned to this purpose, they are the ones that say that they were successful. I personally wouldn't focus too much on the benefits, as good as they may be. However, working through some of the difficult personal challenges that may be out there that give an individual strength and clarity would be successful to whatever way you may evaluate it. The main point that generally gets overlooked here is any physical, emotional, or spiritual healing or expansion we achieve creates a corresponding benefit in the genetic code of our bodies. This reveals a pretty big secret in the genetic evolution. Unfortunately, again, the organic approach doesn't quite fit the current global timeline. The current focus is on creating the patent genetic technology, which is the approved plan. In other words, it's a marketing strategy. You may have heard the talking heads talking about the large percentage of junk DNA in the human genome, which always sounds like an insult to me. The human body is, well, it's nothing short of a miracle. And to call the damaged or dormant genetic material junk, well, it says a lot, I think, about the official viewpoint on the subject here. The question they should be asking themselves is, why? What caused it? Not to dismiss it as junk. This is the same mainstream narrative that is teaching that we came from apes with no substantial proof. You know, for an academic discipline that is designed to embrace facts, their batting average is pretty bad, considering that they support a lot of shady theories and more assumptions than facts. It appears mainstream science is separated from, they've separated from religion and become a political football, if you ask me. I would really like to see this community stand up and just be pure science.